you know, the Baron going through, in a lot of scenarios, it feels like the Baron is so powerful that you already give an advantage to that team, but going up against TSM, you have to feel like they have something planned if they're allowing that through.
Yeah, I think against the Baron, they'll probably opt for like a Black Feather, Glaive, along with potentially Lance, but they do want to pick a melee that can get onto them, but they are going to pick Lyra is good into Baron, but Rogue does play Cruel, so it'd be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and with the Baron pickup there, TSM has allowed this through multiple times. They're one of the only teams that has not banned Baron in a single game this season. They have always let it through if they have the option to, so they clearly have something in mind that they feel they can deal with a Baron.
Yeah, and much to Best Chuck's NA, it's usually him that ends up having to pick it up. And he's been vocal on Twitter about how he doesn't actually want to play it anymore. The Crawl, as you mentioned, though, has been banned away from Rogue, so not going to be able to go on to comfort picks like that, and not going to be able to tie that up alongside the Baron.
Oh, the Glaive is taken away there. So very smart draft and bans by Rogue. I think they're doing this because TSM and Rogue scrim each other, so they know their draft preferences. And I think here Vox will probably be picked up by TSM, and then they can lock Koshka, so Rogue would need to take Koshka and potentially like Baptiste. So I think Baptiste, Koshka... Oh, Baptiste Cath is open, actually. So Rogue can take Baptiste Cath, and that's a solid combination from Rogue here. Wow, it's going to be tough for TSM.
Yeah, once again, we see the Silence and the Fear combo right there for Rogue, alongside a Baron, arguably the best damage dealer in the game right now. And now for TSM, for the first time, I feel like I'm questioning what is a great pick for them right now going into this composition. Once again, it feels so difficult to go into this.
It is so difficult to go into this. I would expect maybe something like a Black Feather, something that has that reflex block kind of built into his kit, just so you can try and dodge or avoid just one more of those abilities.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to work out. So, is this now an example of, like, is TSM going to show us, like, the way to go against this kind of Silence composition? Do we feel like the Silence composition is too strong and Rogue has a significant chance now that they have the Baptiste and the Catherine in a composition? Do we feel like that is significant enough for this to be a very close game now?
Compositionally, Rogue has the advantage here. Like, if you take away the team names, I would say that the Rogue draft should win this matchup, but it's just so difficult to say that Rogue is going to have an advantage against TSM because it's TSM. Like, because they are just so mechanically gifted, so much synergy, so much cohesion on that team. This is definitely the best chance Rogue will have. This is probably the best draft they could have asked for against Team Solo Mid.
All right, so if you're TSM, like, you are this best team, this team that everybody talks about, what is it that you have to do to beat this composition?
Take 3 turrets before Baron gets tier 3 items. So you need to take 3 turrets before Baron gets even 3 tier 3 items. And they have an early game composition. They're much stronger early game. Lyra and Black Feather is better than Cath and Baptiste. So TSM's going to invade a lot, and they're going to snowball them.
So super aggression. We've seen that a lot from TSM in the past. FlashX especially, very aggressive captain in the early game. It's time to get on into this one. Let us know who you're supporting. You're a TSM fan or you're a fan of the newly VG8 Rogue team. We'll find out on Twitter with the hashtag Vainglory8. But it's time to jump on into this game and into this final series of the day as we pass it to our wonderful casters.
Thanks, guys. Once again, final series. Here we are at Scoundrel. TSM versus Rogue. And you heard him on the desk. You need to get 3 turrets at least before Hammy gets 3 items. And we'll see if they can do just that.
Yeah, a super intelligent draft from Rogue, you feel. And it's resulted in a very strong composition. You know, there's several ways that you build a Baron composition. TSM have been very good at using the early game aggression from Von C to provide a distraction for the Baron. You know, then Baron goes untouched in the mid game, gets scaled up really nicely to the late game, and then he carries by himself. This one is just straight up disruption in team fights. Can't touch a Baron when you're feared, silenced, and all that kind of jazz. So it's just a different way of approaching a Baron composition as Best Chuck looks to get some early aggression onto Hammy here. TSM, Flash has got Lyra, so it's one of his, more preferred heroes. He can look to be aggressive with that, and I do think they need to be aggressive here. They need to be pushing the barriers early on. They need to be getting some pressure onto Baptiste. Von C needs to be aggressive, and exactly as the analyst said, try and push these turrets before Baron can scale up super hard, because if it gets to the point where Baron scales up really hard, I think that TSM just straight up lose. I think this is one of the games you look at and say, TSM might have in some ways got outdrafted here.
Not like TSM to get outdrafted. Normally they're the ones pulling out the crazy picks or just drafting like demons. We've seen the Koshka captain for them, but it's nothing too strange we're seeing at the moment. Vonsi is going to get caught in this ordained. He's going to get stunned up as well. The heal comes through from Flash X. Could this be first blood? Vonsi using that potion. Can Rogue find the ground? I don't think they can. Vonsi almost got caught out there, but he is spared.
He is spared, and he will go back, and Rogue don't punish by going to his backs, because they didn't get any kills, so they don't feel like it was potentially impossible to go and punish Vonsi too hard. So Vonsi's going to get a good rotation on his back camps here. FlashX doing a really good job of body blocking those bad mojos, giving Vonsi the opportunity to escape. But right now, TSM lacking in potentially some of the early game aggression that they would have wanted. They've kind of let Stormycross get away with some of the early game here. Again, ordained before level 6 is going to be an issue for Blackfeather, and that's something that Vonsi will always have to respect. Rogue just buying time, and the more time that Rogue get, the better this is for them.
Absolutely. Evo's not getting any time in the lane, neither's Hammy at the moment. That punishment from Flash X, even throwing the sigil under the turret, Scoundrel. It's the most frustrating thing when you're a laner right there, getting a sigil to the face. But Hammy still crouching underneath his turret, although Vonsi's been caught out again. Hang on a second here, does use those boots to get away. Will they be able to follow with this, with any meaningful damage? I don't think so. Hammy's going to get jumped on underneath the turret, though. Vonsi finds the first blood. There we go, after getting jumped on earlier. However, he is away from his team at the moment. There's going to double stun lands onto Best Chuck. He might just go down here to Stormzy. Almost falling. Flash X using that potion just to stay alive. Stormycross does end up finding a kill in return, however.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vonsi going for that kill. Excellent move by him to punish Hammy under the turret, who was low, good executing potential. But by Vonsi going for that, split himself up from the team, and the double stun, like he said, was just so strong. Best Chuck's actually going to rotate here. They're going to get one back camp, but TSM I don't think can do much more about it. Flash X makes his way around, so maybe they can.
I don't know, maybe they can. They got a lot of gap closing potential. And you could see Evo just gave up his own life there, just redirecting all the members of TSM away from Stormycross. However, that kill does go over to Flash X, so it's not the biggest loss in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Flash X picking up a kill. He'll get him towards Fountain a bit quicker, which is always good. Best Chuck here doing his best to farm. A little bit ahead of Hammy in lane, which is always good. You always want to be putting pressure on wherever you can, and having a CS advantage over your opponent is always a good way to do that. One thing TSM do have here is the ability to just portal through. You can try and portal through some of the attempted CC and just get straight onto Hammy, so you can use that portal to get out of the fearsome shade. You can try and use that portal to circumnavigate a Catherine's silence if you're really quick. Now you can just jump into that backline and get the Bright Bulwark down and just sort of say, okay, let's kill Baron, and then everything else after that is not worth thinking about, because obviously a Baptiste and Catherine aren't going to exactly sort of 2 versus 3 if you get to that situation. TSM are looking for the flank here. Good flank.
Good flank by them. They are noticed now. I was going to say unnoticed, but definitely are now. Evo is going to find this stun once more to Best Chuck. Ordain's going to come out as well. He's still sticking inside it. Good eyes by him to actually spot that out. He's dealing so much damage though, but here comes Vonsi with one kill onto Stormycross. Best Chuck and A fairly low. They can't really follow this to have anything meaningful damage right now. TSM managed to get Hammy low as well, but that one kill was more than enough, really, considering that Rogue did start that engagement.
Yeah, one of the major issues there was just Evil didn't have Fountain. It's as simple as that. TSM, they got caught out. It was excellent positioning from the Rogue guys to anticipate that kind of move and then punish TSM for it, as Evil's going to take a bit of punishment, but we'll be able to back off. Just not having that Fountain kind of crucified Rogue's attempts to even function in that team fight, and TSM come away with the kill. But this is not a dominant start for TSM. It's been a shaky start. Shaky start that has allowed some space to the Rogue lineup, and Hammy's working towards his first item here. That'll be the first tick in the box. 2,200 gold in the bank, so Sorrow Blade on the cards.
Absolutely, and that's going to be a big spike for him. Got to imagine. Now TSM, they are just forcing in this wave. Like you said, they want to do exactly what Sweet J suggested on that desk. Take 3 turrets before Baron gets 3 items. He is going to pick up his first item. Is the first turret down? Let me check. No, it's not. So TSM playing a little bit more on the back foot here. Vonsi is going to get caught out, but Ding's level 7 actually. That ambient XP, so we'll have that Rose offensive and a little bit more damage, a little bit more bang for his buck. Stormycross does secure the camp though, so that's going to be at least something for him. But Rogue still scaling up, like you said. The little fights that they get into, as long as they don't trade too much, Rogue are going to get very strong very quickly.
Absolutely, as long as they just don't commit to anything too hard. Rogue will be... What I'd really like to see Rogue do is force TSM to ask the questions, right? Rogue don't need to commit to anything really hard in the early game. Their entire composition scales really well. So what you want to do as the Rogue guys here is say, don't take any unnecessary risks. Get TSM to make the questions, and then if you have the answers for them, great. If you don't, then do your best to get out of there before the firing squad hits. It's what I really want to see, Rogue. Don't take those risks. Let TSM do the work, and then you just answer it.
That's a deadly on point. Oh, nice block there. Using their own defensive to get out of that Ordain. They're going to turn their sights straight onto Hammy. Hammy is just going to fall instantly. Vonsi picks up the kill. Fountain from Flash X tries to keep him alive, but Vonsi will end up falling in the end. Bad Mojos to slow everybody up. Stormy Cross on the retreat. Best Chuck on Age is still doing a fair bit of damage, although taking a little bit from that Treant as well. Wants his revenge. Stormy Cross laying down that Ordain. It is going to go on to Best Chuck. However, he's going to block it, and he's just going to take this fight straight to Stormy. Although Flash X maybe overstaying a little bit there. Can he get out? Boots away, using that sigil speed as well. TSM, they do end up trading 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, super close right now between these two teams. Again, I think a little bit of an overcommittal, but I think they thought they had caught Von C out, but obviously just able to Rose offensive through the Ordain, doesn't get caught out by it. So TSM able to basically regroup and then put pressure onto Hammy. Hammy had used those jump jets offensively. If he uses those jump jets offensively, it just screams "kill me" from TSM, and they were able to do that. But the damage return from Stormy Cross very high right now, and there's not much shielding for Von C, which is why he got blown up.
Maybe he needs to prioritize some of that now, because think about this: Stormy Cross with that, a lot of crystal power on him right now. Does have the Shatter Glass. Here comes the Ion Cannon just to actually dissuade the rest of TSM, but undeterred, they still put a little bit of poke damage down. Evo finds the stun to Flash X, takes a double rocket from Hammy, but is going to be able to heal up. Those points from Von Z hurting an absolute treat at the moment. Ordain does hand to Von Z, however. Does use that road defensive to get away. There comes the Fountain as well from Flash X to heal them all up, but Stormy Cross going fairly low. The massive silence from Best Chuck does once again make sure Rogue back off nice and tightly. Fountains pop from either side. Evo still wants something here. They do find Von C, but Ordained once again is just going to get dashed out of. Von C has done an absolutely fantastic job of just that. And Hammy getting aggressed on once more. It's just going to go down to Best Chuck. I thought that wasn't going to kill him, but turns out didn't have enough energy for the actual jump jet. So again, TSM, they find this kill. Now, can they find this turret?
Again, it's the name of the game. Getting turrets buys them map pressure. Map pressure buys them the ability to put press into the Rogue jungle, and pressing into the Rogue jungle gives them more space to punish Rogue before they can scale up. It's a sequence of events that TSM want to enact very quickly. They want to start rotating around these objectives. They want to get gold mines to prevent gold mines going over to Rogue so that Rogue can't scale up quickly with the gold that it adds. They want to get the turrets, so they open up the map, chase Rogue down, set up more catches, seek more team fight scenarios. But it hasn't yet quite come good for TSM. Got a couple more minutes before they really have to start to worry. Hammy has hit his 2-item spike now. He'll be working towards his final 2 items of the game. Unsure where he'll go with them. He could go towards a Poison Shiv. It's something that we saw, for instance, with the K-Cool build from Team Queso during their challenge battles. Or we could see him go from the more traditional Baron build, which I think would be better potentially in this scenario. Just going straight burst damage, blowing up Von C on the front line.
But you're touching on items, and Evil's actually picked up the Echo for his first item after the Fountain. Really wants to go for those blast tremors. Those double blast tremors, at least.
Absolutely. Just means that you get this kind of scenario where you can force TSM away, and again, Crucible there for Flash X on the second one if they want to use it. I think that was an Echo used and a double blast tremor potentially.
No, I don't think that actually went off. I think he just used it and then just didn't use it.
Oh, it's a really short cooldown. He must have used it on either his Storm Shield or his Q.
Oh, that was maybe a little bit of a mistap there. Vonsi does take a lot of damage though, so Rogue won't actually have to fight them. It's a short cooldown, you are correct. 50 is only on 4 seconds now.
Yeah, the cooldown of Echo scales with the cooldown of the ability that you use to refresh. So it was a very short cooldown for that Echo, which means he must have tried to use a double stun with it.
Best Chuck taking a fair bit of damage now. Does actually get stunned up as well, but Flash X is there for the disengage. Here comes a lot of damage from Hammy. In fact, Flash X is going to be in the front line. Pierce some shade onto 3 members. Fountain only just heals Best Chuck in time. Monty taking an extra mojo over the wall from Stormy. Now Evo does find the stun. The Ordain does land as well, but our bulwark is going to come through. And that block as well from Best Chuck did save his life in the end. TSM clutching at straws here, it seems. Rogue, their damage is just incomprehensible right now. Von C almost falls, and this could be Rogue taking their first turret, or at least getting a little bit of damage down onto it.
Yeah, they've still got Fountain on Evil available. They're all really healthy right now. TSM have to make a desperation defense here. Rogue in a very good position. The silence comes down.
Oh my goodness. The blast tremor into the double rockets. There was nothing Flash X from Best Chuck could do. Be Rogue taking the turret as well.
And I really love the itemization of an Echo Second for Evo. They don't have to worry about crucibling anything. What they want to do is command these team fights and getting a double silence or even a double stun like you saw Evo pull off a couple of times in those previous fights. It's basically allowing them to just buy time for Baron. You can't dive a Baron when you're silenced. You can't dive a Baron when you're consistently being stunned up by Evo. And I mean, this is just the draft coming into play here. TSM haven't had the opportunity to be aggressive enough in the early game. You're nearly at 3 items for Hammy, and they've only just taken 1 turret. I mean, this might be the first case in a while that we have seen TSM get outdrafted.
That is a rarity. Put it in your calendars, everybody. Today is the day, the 30th of July, 2017. TSM may have just got outdrafted. The Scoundrel said it. Gonna point that out there. So if anybody says they haven't, we can blame you.
Just in case we're wrong, which we're not.
Just in case. Iron Cannon comes down, Vision Shade as well. This could actually be stolen. It does. Rogue is going to take that one. Stormy actually comes up big there. That Fearsome Shade doing a lot of work for him. Best Chuck and A has to retreat here. So does the rest of TSM. He's just going to get ordained and just destroyed by Hammy. Blast Drum is going to silence the rest of TSM. Flash X running away, and Hammy's just online. 3 items. This guy is just packing a hell of a punch. And TSM, they can't do anything at this point. In fact, Hammy's going to jump just forward once again. Flash X gets stunned. He gets rocketed as well. Hammy finds another kill. Boy, is he impressive. He's 3 and 3 and 2. He's online. This is all going downhill for TSM.
I'm not saying I wasn't wrong, but I'm definitely not wrong. This draft is like, this is just insane. This is another way to formulate a Baron composition. Not only do you have someone that can follow up on that chain of CC with an insane amount of damage, even more so than Fox, you would even argue that this is a better double Catherine Baptiste composition than with the Vox, because Baron could do the same thing, but he hits harder and he hits harder quicker. So this capitalizes on that CC even more effectively than a Vox would. This is almost like the perfect composition in Vainglory right now, because it's so difficult to answer, and it protects Baron so well that he's got to the late game so easily. Evil has gone for a null wave gauntlet now to shut down Flash X probably even harder than he can. Neglecting the Atlas Pauldrons, in fact, the armor being neglected across the board, that might come to bite them in the butt if TSM find a way to get through this Fearsome Shade and the rest of the silences, because Bestchuk could get some work done here. But right now, the amount of control that Rogue are bringing to these fights. Whoa, here we go.
Oh, passageway onto the bright bulwark. Can Hammy get out alive? No, he cannot. However, they trade 1 for 1. Blast Tremor comes out, silences 2 members of TSM. Now, Best Chuck and A, he's trying to find the finishing blow onto this. He just can't do it. There's just no way he can find it onto Stormy, as he just ends up going down. Evo just stood on top of him and wailed him to death. And now Flash X is on the retreat here. Very low. Evo wants to try and make something of this, but that Sigil is going to give him the speed that he needs to get out. Rogue, time and time again, they lose Hammy, and you know what? We've got a second carry, it's Stormy.
Yeah, and Stormy Cross just hits like a truck right now. That was one of the only ways I felt that Rogue could potentially lose a fight. They just barrel Vox to the backline. No one's got any armor. Vox could potentially rip through it with this tension bow by Poison Shiffield. But look how far in item spikes everybody is behind on TSM.
Double kill.
Almost 1 whole item behind for Von C. Multiple aggressive items behind for Bestchuk, and he had to itemize so heavily into defense because of that burst from Stormy and the fact that Hammy's hitting hard too. He needs the armor, so the damage output from Bestchuk is just non-existent, you feel, at this point in time. TSM just, I almost feel like double Crucible is necessary here. I almost feel like Von C's going to have to build a Crucible, because it's just necessary. 2 Crucibles in this composition is just necessary.
Just too much on the side of Rogue for them to deal with. He does have Shattercast from Broken Myth. Hang on a second, Iron Cannon's going to come down. Hammy's almost completely safe.
What?
What just happened? Bad Mojo onto 2. Rogue just walking all over them.
Actually going to get a double block out there, Flash X, so that was a nicely timed reflex block for maybe a poorly timed stun from Evo. But that way of fighting Jaws is what we talked about at the start of the game. Like, one of the ways that TSM could actually find team fight wins here. You just barreled into the Baron and kill him, which they are doing. But right now, Stormy Cross is also a 3-item Batiste. He's hitting so hard when he's got the empowered souls. Those bad mojos are hitting for 400 to 500 damage, and Flash X may be looking for a sigil steal here. He's buying time, though. He's buying time when the rest of TSM are moving down. Notoriously, CP... well, never mind. I was going to say CP Blackfeather's good at stealing stuff, but never mind.
No, fearsome shade was enough. And Hammy came in as well to secure the Baron, that final rocket, and he says, I've done all the work, thank you very much. And Rogue, get the Kraken on the board. It's going to march down the lane, and what can go wrong here for Rogue? Not much, it seems. They trade 2 for 2, or 1 for 1 even, and then Stormy Cross, he just comes up big and crosses his arms and says, not today. TSM, we outdrafted you, we're going to win this game.
If anyone remembers last December, when we had the North American Live Championships in autumn, just before Worlds, there was a composition that you never let anybody get. It was the Adagio Lyra composition. You never let them get the double heal. I feel like Batista Catherine is exactly the same as that now.
Seems so. Another passageway, another bright bulwark, another blast rammer as well. Is going to silence members of TSM. Vonsi already out of the fight. And oh, hang on a second, Best Chuck. He's managed to kill Hammy here, and now they're going to just chase down Stormzy. Still, Stormy even. He's not the rapper. He's not the grime artist. He's a player in Vainglory. Evo is going to have to run away. TSM, they do find 2 kills here, but that Kraken is still wailing on their base. They still are going to lose this turret here. Best Chuck came up really big in that fight, taking out Stormy at the end. They are going to be able to find their ace. They're going to have to retreat there and deal with that Kraken. But still, these are the fights they wanted to, but it was a mere hair width in going Rogue's way.
Well, he got the breaking point onto Bestchuk, and there is still no armor being prioritized by anybody at all on the side of Rogue. So the one thing that TSM have going in their favor, while the gold is now almost even unbelievably, the one thing that TSM have going in their favor is that they can continuously get Chuck into the backline like that. It's easy breaking point stacks. He's going to hit hard and he's going to kill quickly. So that is the one saving grace here for TSM. You can barrel into that backline, and because there is literally no armor to go up against, Best Chuck should get really easy breaking point stacks, and he'll also hit really, really hard. And the mobility allows him to chase down Harry after he's used the jump jets anyway. That is the one Achilles heel with the way that Rogue is built right now, with the prioritization of a null wave and what looks to be even a Crucible over an Atlas Pauldrons. If I were Eval, I would sell your reflex block and go for Atlas Pauldrons now, or at least some armor. Because that is the one Achilles heel of your composition, and it's the one way that you could potentially throw this game. The one way.
And just keep building damage is what my teammates tell me as well. But hey, Flash X, he knows how to play Lara a lot better than I do. Now TSM, they still have a measly only 1,000 gold lead difference between Rogue's total as well. It's been very close. Here comes the Blast Tremor. It's going to silence 3 members. Wardred's in as well. Hammy.
Oh, he's gone the wrong way. He's gone the wrong way.
There we go. Hammy just comes in, but Hammy's still doing the damage. Vision Shade's going to lock up 2 members. Vonsi completely out of the fight. Now Best Chuck is all on him. It's going to land. Hammy does get those double rockets again off onto Flash X. Those on points doing a lot of damage. Vonsi very, very close to going down. Hammy comes through. Can he come up big? Double rocket to finish him off. That's 1 member down from TSM now. Will they be able to recover from this? There's a lot of healing there. Comes the passageway. Hang on a minute. Where have they gone? I didn't even know. Hammy's actually found himself onto the tree, but still manages to find the kill onto Best Chuck NA. Flash X still running away, and this might just be the end of the game. Rogue, they're going to be able to find the ace. Ordained stun. Straight into the bad mojo. They find the ace, and I think they've done it, Xcandrel.
I think they've done it. I think they have cracked the TSM code. Rogue with an insanely good draft, and TSM played the fight so awkwardly at the end there. The one way that they've been winning is by catching Rogue off guard and barreling in with the Lyra portal to get straight onto Hammy and delete him from the fight. They didn't play it that way. They tried to play an elongated fight, and it didn't work. That plays right into what Rogue want to achieve. TSM split. They didn't focus on the target. They didn't barrel in to surprise Hammy on this Baron. And that was the one way I think they could have come back, and they didn't manage to make it happen in their last fight. But we've got to give credit to Rogue. Excellent drafting, excellent execution. Hammy on this Baron was so easily scaling up so nicely.
Welcome to the VG8 and TSM. Welcome your new contenders. That was a fantastically played game by Rogue. Baron just popped off, and that was the end of that. However, we'll jump over to the analyst desk, and we'll see what TSM...